Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inner Conquest, the world's greatest modern metaphysics channel. I'm your host, Jacob Edens, and today we are going to be doing a client recommended video topic on how to receive an idea. Ooh, if you could receive any idea you wanted, which one would you pick? There's so many ideas. So when we're talking about receiving an idea, you have to understand the mechanics of the mind and the basic principles of essentially how our reality is constructed, okay? So if you go into a game, right, you want to understand the dynamics of the game. If you don't understand on Mario Kart, when you pass go, you don't collect $200, you're going to be at a disadvantage to somebody who does, right? They're going to understand that, oh, I have this ability and this is a bonus for me because I can leverage this and I can get more assets out of it and then put myself in a better position, right? So understanding how the game operates is important, because then you can begin to consciously manipulate the game to your own ends, right? Like if you don't understand the controls, then the controls, you got to figure out the controls before you can be an effective player, even if you understand what you're supposed to be doing in the game or you don't, right? So we're talking about ideas. Let's break it down into basic metaphysical principles, okay? So what is an idea? Well, an idea is a packet of information, right? Oh, I just got an idea. Boom. An energetic bing of information of knowing a sector of reality and or being aware of a sector of reality or a concept of reality or a word or a thought or whatever, a mental movie, right? It can all come to you through different various formats, but one thing is in common with all of them, they are received, right? Oh, I just received this great idea. Oh, I just got this great idea, meaning that you didn't have it before and now you had it, so you acquired it somehow. So let's break down that process, right? So how do you acquire a new idea or a new thought that you haven't been currently thinking? Well, this is a really important thing to understand, because if you are thinking from a what you would call third dimensional linear external only perspective, where you're looking at your third dimensional world outside of you and you're using that as the basis to formulate your identity, saying, oh, this outside here looks like this looks like this looks like this, so I must be this, right? If you're that type of person, that is essentially what you would consider an asleep person, because they don't understand that the world is reacting and conforming to their assumptions, thoughts, beliefs, and beingness, right? So when you're asleep, right, you are at the mercy of what you could call a script that's unfolding to you externally. You are the character who's getting taken for a ride, right? Oh, this is my life. I had these traumas, this thing, that thing, and this is who I am, right? You're just unconscious. You've just been programmed by your external world. And why do we say programmed like we're computers? Well, the reason we say programmed is because you're a soul. You're not a body. You're a soul in a body, right? Now, if you want to remove the fear from all of that, you want to understand that your soul holds a physical nature, okay? Your soul is more physical and more real than this body. In the same way that my body is more real than my GTA character is, okay? On GTA, Grand Theft Auto, on my Xbox, okay? So this is game dynamics, and this is the age of awakening. So you're going to realize this sooner or later. So the sooner you can get this, the better advantage you can have in making this experience more badass, okay? You're a soul in a body who went to a place called sleepy time, okay? And what sleepy time does is it makes you forget that you're a soul who came into a game, and then you have a super raw, authentic experience where you're getting fucking ran through a script, okay? That's a hardcore experience. So, side note, if you're a soul who does that type of shit, you're a fucking badass, because it's like, hey man, want to come to my theme park? Before you come to my theme park, also, there are people here who have been playing this theme park forever, and they fucking know all of the tips and tricks and how to win at every single game. Do you want to go into that theme park? But oh, just a little thing before you go into that theme park. We're going to wipe your memory, and you're only going to remember being inside the theme park, and then you're going to go play against those people. Does that sound fun to you? Like, so if you do that shit, you're fucking nuts, right? Like, we're all fucking nuts, but that's, somebody's got to do it, I guess. But understanding this game is you are a soul that is more physical outside of this place than in this place, meaning you have fucking hands and shit, okay? You have a body that is a soul body, and then this body is an avatar body that is conformed to your actual soul's blueprint, right? So when you're here, if your heart stops, body dies, you don't die. You're good. You're the pilot. You're Tony Stark. You're not the Iron Man suit, okay? So when you're talking about receiving ideas, you want to align your identity, your core identity of who you are, right? I'm Jacob motherfucking Edens, right? Sick, okay? With the soul that's in the body, okay? You're the pilot running this thing. Because what you understand is that, like an Iron Man suit, what does an Iron Man suit run off of? It runs off of programs. Tony Stark has to program it. Your mind is like Jarvis, right? So when you have data and information coming at you all the time, trying to tell you shit, that can be like malware in your mind, right? That can be like fucking information. But when they say you're not your thoughts, what that means is you're not the computer programs running in your subconscious autonomic nervous system that are being fed to you by your brain, right? That's not you. You're not Jarvis. You can listen to Jarvis, you can accept Jarvis's ideas, and you can use Jarvis to get what you want, but ultimately you have the decision to say, go fuck yourself, Jarvis. I'm not doing that, right? So when you're receiving ideas, what you want to understand, what is an idea? Okay, well, an idea, let's put it into verbiage. What is a verb? A verb, a verberation, a reverberation, a vibration, okay? So every idea is at a frequency, right? So when they talk about tune in, put your listening caps on. Why do they say tune in? It's because you're adjusting your frequency to receive a specific vibratory resonance of information. So if you want to receive new thoughts, what you're doing is you're tuning your brain to be receptive to those things, okay? So that's why people talk about meditation. The reason that you would use meditation is if you have a bunch of programs running in your mind and they're taking up all the bandwidth, you silence the mind back to that blank level so that it can reposition itself vibrationally to receive new information from outside, right? Your brain is like an antenna, okay? You use your brain to receive thoughts, to basically work in this third dimensional world where your soul is much more unlimited than your limited physical constraint, right? To use and it's not this, but to use a fucking antagonistic term, people call it a flesh prison or whatever, right? Because your soul is much more unlimited than this physical body, right? But this physical body is also based off of your beliefs, your perceptions, your thoughts, and your ideations about reality at large, right? It mirrors that back to you. This reality construct mirrors who you are in it. So when you're receiving new thoughts, you want to first understand how to hold a state. Because if you look at something like law of attraction, what does that mean? Well, it means that there's magnetic propensity in reality, okay? So magnetic propensity and vibratory resonance go hand in hand, because if I hold a certain state, so say I'm in a depressed state, okay? I'm feeling depressed all the time. I have, you know what that state feels like. It feels like going into a fucking sticky hot bath that's like gonna suck you in, you feel all trash, right? Now that state is at a certain magnetic frequency. And because of our electromagnetic field, which is essentially the outward pushing magnetic force that is centered in a heart, because your heart is a toroidal field that glues your soul into a physical human body. That's why if your heart stops, you leave your body and you die. When you go to sleep and you get into those deep REM sleeps and you have those crazy dreams, it's because your heart rate has lowered so much that your soul can freely get out of your body and go do shit, okay? But the thing that you're dealing with is a low level of consciousness. So you're basically doing it like you're drunk driving, right? You're just going around doing shit, you know what I mean? Your soul never sleeps, your body sleeps, okay? So when you're receiving a new idea, What you want to understand is if you're intentionally trying to receive a specific idea about something that is a new thing, say you decide, okay, I want to be richer, right? I want to be super fucking rich. But your entire third dimensional reality is fucked up, not cool, okay? No big problem. Because what is that reality oscillating at? Take all of the good or bad time constraints, take all that shit out of it just for a second. Just forget everything you've ever learned about what it takes to accumulate wealth or to create anything, okay? That external reality is a externalization of what you've been aware of internally for however long you've been alive. It's been pushed out and manifested, okay? So if you've had chronic habitual fears of poverty, you've been focused on lack and limitation, you've been feeling constraints in your body and been aware of them and accepted them as true about yourself. You've had group belief systems, either through your parents or through other people, that have affected the way that you perceive and accept the world to unfold for you individually. That is all mirrored back to you through your assumptions of how things are going to be, okay? So when you understand that, you understand that that's all, including the body, third dimensional game shit, for lack of a better term. That's Mario Kart, that's fucking Monopoly pieces, Monopoly money. That's all game shit. Everything outside of you is game shit, okay? You're in a game, for lack of a better term. Doesn't mean it's not crazy, but you're in a game, for lack of better terms. So understanding that everything outside of you, if you want to take it a step further, your thoughts and your emotions and your self-concept and your I am presence, knowing that you fucking exist, is the only real thing that transcends all of this shit, which is always temporarily moving around and will all be destroyed at some point in time, and then we can recreate it again, right? These are our playthings. This realm is a plaything. It's like a video game, okay? So when you understand that everything outside of you is just a reflection of that internal state, and then you realize the magnetic propensity of states to attract things, which can include people, places, circumstances, and situations, and also thoughts and emotions. If I claim I'm depressed all the time, I will attract an emotional quality about me that will mirror that thought. And then that emotional quality will oscillate my entire being at a vibratory resonance, which will pull in magnetically thoughts, people, places, everything external to reflect that magnetic propensity, okay? So when we talk about going from zero to hero, what you're really doing is you're changing internally that oscillating frequency to be what you want it to be, okay? In the same way that a unconscious, depressed person will have a diagnosis or some shit, and they're like, you have stage 4 depression, pussy, and you're like, I guess I'm fucking depressed now, right? And you just keep claiming it, affirming it, not contradicting it. You just keep fucking piling it in to your central nervous system. You keep building that state chronically, keep showing you more evidence. You go, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. And because you're asleep at the wheel, now your life is a living hell, okay? So if you understand how that can work on a negative process, you can now flip that and get it really goosed up on a positive process, meaning that you can have a wealth state of consciousness. You can have an abundance state of consciousness. You can have a power state of consciousness. You can have a high intellect state of consciousness. You can have a high consciousness state of consciousness. You can have a state of consciousness of mastery. You can have a state of consciousness of perfection. You can have a state of consciousness of love. You can have a state of being of a conqueror, right? Of somebody who just fucking wins. That's all for the taking, right? So you just have to understand the very simple process of understanding the state, right? And if you can't shift your emotional state, if you don't have that emotional control, you always have the ability to think a new thought, right? So you can always vote with your thought process. I am this. You could be the worst fucking depression of your entire life, fucked up, right? Worst poverty situation, fucked up all the time. And you can still say, I don't give a fuck. I'm super fucking rich. I always have more than enough. I'm receiving more and more wealth every single day. Every single day, my wealth increases. I am abundantly wealthy right now. You can always veto that. And you can just keep fucking vetoing. Oh, but you feel like this. Look at this thing. Don't you want to do this? You should be this again. What is that? That's a poorly programmed Jarvis in your Tony Stark Iron Man suit that is trying to get you to go back to an identity that the fucking robot has been programmed to. Okay? So understanding that you're a soul in the body gives you the understanding that you don't ever have to fucking listen to the Iron Man suit. How many times in the Marvel movies does the suit go, too high, freezing, too high, too many bad guys, and Tony Stark goes, run the ones, fuck it, and just fucking crushes it because he's a hero, right? And the suit's all fucked up, but the suit's like, okay, well, now we'll get stronger, right? The suit isn't your God, right? The mind isn't your God. You have ultimate authority over your life, okay? So let's get that fucking down. Second thing is when you are pulling in new thoughts, you are essentially cultivating an energetic state that attracts those thoughts to you because your brain's a receiver, okay? So when you're receiving thoughts all day, every day, it's because you're oscillating at a frequency in the same way that a radio is tuned to a specific frequency to receive certain songs, okay? So if you want a new experience of new thoughts, say you want to have badass business ideas, you have to get yourself into the state of already being a badass business owner on that energetic frequency level. You have to become that internally. So how do you become shit? Well, the name of God is I am then, right? Or I am not, deny. You have two primary faculties that you can do with your consciousness. You can vote, yes, I am this, I identify with this is true. Or you can say, nope, that's not me, I deny that has no power over me, this is not who I am, this has a right to exist, I'm not denying its reality, right? But I don't identify with this, and I don't have to place my awareness on it, and it doesn't have to be a part of my personalized experience. That's what being an authority is, right? You have choice in every single situation. If you don't understand that you're Tony Stark in the Iron Man suit with the Jarvis thing, then that Jarvis thing can take over you, and you can think that you're the Jarvis thing, but the Jarvis thing is just a fucking program. So now you're a robot. Congrats. You've become a robot, right? But you're not a fucking robot. You're the fucking billionaire playboy or playgirl who's playing in the robot, who creates the robot, who sustains the robot, who trains the robot, right? Because what happens if you leave your body? Body ain't doing shit, right? So everything that powers your body, and if you want to take it an extension further, your reality construct at large is you, right? That's why they call you the source. You're the source. They go, oh, source, God, right? But I don't use the term God very much anymore because everybody has such a distorted term of what that means as if it's a higher being. No, it's just the all field of all potentiality around us all the time that responds to who we are, right? And not knowing that immediately enslaves you. That's why this world doesn't want you to know that, because you're immediately a slave if you don't understand that you have authority to essentially dictate reality as consciousness, because you're a consciousness in a game. In the same way that if I somehow drugged you into oblivion and put you in Mario Kart with a VR headset so glued onto your head, you would think you're fucking Mario until the drugs wore off and you're like, oh my fucking God, like this is crazy, right? So that's essentially what happened. Because we're all psychopaths, we come to this place and we forget who we are. But the second you remember who you are, you remember that you have authoritative command protocol over this place, right? Your word is the highest word in your localized sphere of reality, along with everybody else's word for them specifically. So when you want to receive new ideas, I am the person who already has received this idea now, because everything is right now. You pull your energy into the state of the version of yourself that has already received that, like you're tuning the frequency, right? I want to listen to classic rock. Boom. In your mind, you envision already listening to classic rock. Boom, you've locked onto that frequency, okay? Now, what is Tony Stark and Jarvis going to do now that you've made your decision with your consciousness? It's going to go, yes, Master Stark, well, then we need to go and move the dial, right? But if you focus on how hard it is to move the dial, you're not locked on to classic rock, right? So that's where most people fuck up. You got to lock on to classic rock, because in the same way, if you're using a GPS, you put in the end coordinates. You don't go, let's go to Quick Trip or the gas station and then see if we can find our way from there, but it's probably gonna be hard. Like, the fuck? Just put in the end coordinate. I'm already there. This is already easy. I already know how to do this. This is the easiest shit of all time. I know how to receive ideas. I'm receiving this idea. I've received 20 of these ideas yesterday. All past tense, already done, already implying victory and conquest, right? Already implicating yourself as successful. You've already conquered it. I want this, it's mine now. I want this, it's mine now. Oh, that would be cool. It's done. That's my new reality. That's normal for me. And that's how you sit there in your authority and you command and you dictate to reality what you want out of it. And then you sit there and you receive it, because another dimension of this reality is that it's an adventure reality. Woo. So what is a non-adventure reality? Well, a non-adventure reality would be, I want an apple. Boom, an apple's in my hand, right? That's full power, right? And that's pretty sick too, don't get me wrong. But if you want to go, well, I want to have a journey reality with some fun stuff, you would go, I want an apple. And then it would be like, you already have the apple, but watch how we do all of these bojangles and bring it to you. And then you're like, ooh, I wonder how the apple is going to come. I already know I have the apple, but this is going to be a fun little adventure, right? And you go to the store, you fuck around, you meet a hot girl. She's like, hey, I have too many apples. Would you like an apple? And you're like, this reality fucking rocks. I got the apple and I got the fucking adventure too, right? So that's the whole shindig. You're never not heard. You're never not going to get what you want to get unless you say you're not going to get what you want to get, but you're dealing with rigmarole, bojangle bullshit, okay? Ooh, it's an unfolding process. So that's why everything that unfolds, you just go, this is a perfect unfolding. This is who I am. This is what I have. You just keep programming the fucking GPS and then everything conforms, right? But if you don't know who you are, if you don't know that you're the conductor of the train, then you're a victim-slave complex to the external reality, which is hilarious because it's a reality that you created, so you're in your own fear prison, right? You're in your own prison. So the way you break out of that prison is you just go, what the fuck? This thing was all created by me? Well, I can just recreate it new. And then you'll have a thought that'll be like, no, you can't recreate it new. Oh, this shit's serious. Well, shut the fuck up, Jarvis. You just got programmed because I was asleep. So who the fuck are you to tell me what is and isn't possible, right? Fuck you, mind. You sit down like a dog. You serve me, right? That's how you treat your mind. It's a dog, and so is your body. It is beneath you, right? Doesn't mean it's super important. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be treated really healthily and you know, keep it healthy and shit, right? Don't fuck up your body. It's really useful, but it's beneath you. It's not your fucking master, right? So as long as you remember that, you'll be good. If you guys like the video, feel free to leave comments of future videos that you would like made. Additionally, the Linktree has all my coaching. If you guys want to do one-on-ones, I've got cool protocols on basics of metaphysics, as well as how to optimize the living shit out of your body if you want to do the Spartan 1 human optimization protocol. And then I have emails and stuff like that. But more important than any of that, go conquer. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.